I'd like to make two corrections here. When I asked the commissioners to vote to approve or deny the amendments, I mistakenly stated that the amendments that we were to approve were the minutes of September.
That was correct. There's two sets of minutes. One for September.
Okay, so that was correct. The ones that we approved were for September 8th. Now we have to approve the minutes for the meeting of October 13th. Do I have a motion? Motion to approve the minutes of October 13th of 2011. Second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Madam Secretary, roll.
Commissioner Nunez.
Aye.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Aye.
Commissioner Jackson.
Aye.
Commissioner Silva. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Aye.
Reverend Dixon.
Aye.
Chairman Patterson.
There is an application that has been adjourned at the request of the attorney, Steve Hare, representing the applicant. The application to be adjourned is application Z-13-11, 129-135 Westfield Avenue, K and J Nielsen. If there is anyone from the public who came to hear this application or to participate speaking about this application will not be heard today. It has been adjourned for the November 10, 2000, December 8, 2011. Okay, we have an application, a letter that was submitted. Let me give you a brief on this. Apparently, this applicant, Mariana Sanchez, went to the zoning board office and requested an opinion on use of a martial arts school in a C1 zoning district. This is a facility located at 161 Washington Avenue. I believe all the commissioners have a copy of this letter, and the opinion rendered by Mr. Lawrence Finn, zoning officer, in which he stated that this project may not be approved by his office. And he, of course, as it is normal, renders an opinion. And, of course, the applicant, or Mr. Finn, suggested to the applicant to come before the zoning board of adjustment, submit the applications, and be here. I understand that the applicant, Mariana Sanchez, I assume is the owner of the martial arts school, is here. She is not represented by an attorney, nor she is represented by an architect. My understanding is that Ms. Sanchez has been operating this school without the proper variances. My understanding also is that they want to come before this board to make the use legal.
State your name for your address. Your name, sir? Caesar is 1178 Magnolia Avenue, Elizabeth. She is Maria for the same address.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me just explain a little bit about what this is and what's in front of you now. Some of you have probably seen this before, but maybe you're new, maybe not. So let me explain what's in front of you. One of the things that a zoning board of adjustment is required to do is to hear appeals from the decision of the zoning officer in the town. And when anybody comes to the town and needs a certificate of occupancy or building permit or construction permit, something like that, one of the things that the folks are supposed to do is to first determine whether or not the use is a permitted use in the zone. Because if it isn't a permitted use in the zone, then they have to come before this board for a use variance. So that's their job. Right? If the zoning officer says it's not a permitted use, they can decide, instead of filing a use variance application, they can decide to appeal that decision, the decision of whether it's permitted or not. They can appeal that to this board. Right? So what's in front of you now is a decision by Mr. Finn that the Martial Arts Academy is not a permitted use in the zone. The only thing that's before you right now is the determination of whether he was right or wrong. This is not a use variance application. They don't have to put on those proofs, right? What we're really looking at here is a legal decision. But that's okay, because you are a quasi-judicial body. Your job, in some cases, is to make legal decisions, okay? So Mr. Finn has said that this is not a permitted use in the zone. I'm going to, because he's not here, because the Perez's are not represented by counsel, I'm going to really briefly explain what I think the basis of this decision was, right? And then Mr. Gallerano has some opinions on it, and really then after that, it's going to be up to you to decide whether or not it's permitted. If it's permitted, let me just ask one question. Did you do anything to the outside of the building, or are you just moving into the building?
No, we didn't.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that if you decide that it's a permitted use, then they can get their CO, assuming they meet all their code inspections, etc. And then you won't see them again. Okay? Or the planning board won't see them again. If you decide that it is not a permitted use, you decide that Mr. Finn was correct, then they have to come back before you with a use variance application, which they have not yet prepared with a lawyer or planner, just like we just saw 5 minutes ago. Okay? So that's where it is. Now, really quickly, I don't need to talk to you.
I have a question. The question is, we're going to render a legal opinion, and although we are a quasi-judicial, the opinion that we render, which in essence is a legal opinion, will not become a case law that other applicants may use to bend the arm of this board to say, well, you decided this way on this application, so you are kind of obligated to apply the same discretion to this other application.
Yeah.
So although we're quasi-judicial, our decisions will not, for the purpose of future applications, become a case law.
No, every decision by this board is based on the facts before this board. This decision in one case is not precedent for the next case. All right, so we're in the C1 zone here. The chart you guys have all seen before, that's in the ordinance, says what is in a C1 zone, right? So the question really is, what is a martial arts academy? That's really the legal question, okay? Because the ordinance doesn't have in here anywhere martial arts academy and then find the right box, is it permitted or not? It's not said at all. So your job really is to figure out what category is martial arts academy fall into, right? If you decide that it is a government, educational, and religious use, obviously it's not religious, so it's not government. So if it's an educational use, that's not permitted in any zone. So they would need a use variance. It's an educational use. I suggest that's probably not the right category. The right categories probably are either community retail or neighborhood convenience. Let me tell you what those are. And that is because neighborhood convenience is permitted in this zone, Community retail is not. Okay? So this is really what it comes down to, is these two things. Which of these two definitions do you believe apply? Let me just read the right one. It's neighborhood convenience, right? And is it neighborhood convenience or local convenience? Which one is it? Neighborhood convenience or local convenience that you think might fall?
We go to
Local. Okay. So here's really what it comes down to. Here's your first definition. Okay, think in your head is whether it's martial arts or basketball. Got it. Number one, local convenience retail and services, such as stationery and bookstores, branch banks, dry goods and variety stores, home radio and TV repair, hand or automatic laundries, florists, hardware stores or locksmiths, office equipment and business machine sales and service, packaged liquor sales, tailors or dressmakers, and dry cleaning and clothes pressing establishments provided by local cleaning agencies. That's the one. The other one, community retail, is the following. Community retail and services such as paint and wallpaper stores, furniture stores, sporting and athletic goods, photographing equipment and supplies, professional business and technical schools, and studios for photography, art, music, and dance. That's your choice, right? One of them is, if you think it falls under the first one, it's permitted. If you think it falls under the second one, it's not. That's all I have to say.
Can I hear that definition from the applicant? What is your...
Sure.
What do you understand?
Okay, first of all, I would like to clarify the misunderstanding over the name Maria Sanchez Aguileris. Maria Perez. So where did the name Maria Sanchez came from? Did you not know? So
I'm sorry.
There were previous people who were trying to get that location.
So what you're saying is that someone before you with the name Maria Sanchez tried to operate a martial arts school in the same facility. Okay. Are you operating the facility there right now as a martial arts school? How long have you taken it?
4 months.
4 months. Okay, Commissioner Gonzalez, you have a question?
Yeah, my question was, I heard the definition from our board attorney. I'd like to hear the definition from the applicant. What exactly are you doing there?
What we're doing is trying to get back to the community.
I have to hear what you say, sir. Speak up.
We're trying to get back to the community. Years ago when I was a kid, I was a victim of bullying in school, and a young black gentleman by the name of Theodore Anderson.
Theodore Anderson?
Yes. And the Ron Robert Daycare Center. And the Ron Robert Daycare Center. The Wall. The farm.
The lawn district?
Took me under his wing and taught me how to defend and protect myself. But in the process of teaching me how to protect and defend myself, he also taught me how to be honorable, be a person of the society. And through my life, I tried to emulate what he taught me as a young man. I served 4 years in the Marine Corps. I trained with many different masters. I'm inducted into the Masters Hall of Fame in Puerto Rico. I've been invited to take a team to Puerto Rico for the Puerto Rico Open in March. I'm also in the Hall of Fame of Atlantic City. The Hall of Fame of Atlantic City. Actually, what I'm trying to do is give back to the community, give these kids a place to go where they have somebody to mentor them, somebody they can talk to. It's not always easy to talk to your parents. And I know that as growing up, single parent home without a father. So I try to give them that father. Try to give those kids.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, we do close at 11. We want to hear what you do at the facilities.
I teach
What
kids.
you do with the kids.
I do a lot of things. I mentor them. I talk to them. I teach them how to protect themselves. I teach them how to be fit.
You teach them
Martial arts.
how to fight, right school.
Yeah,
You teach them.
What do you teach the kids?
I teach them how to fight and protect themselves. I teach them
By
self-defense by using their hands.
karate techniques.
Yes, karate. Yes.
Okay, to a board attorney, based on the definition, which one of the two does that fit?
Let me say this, and this is why I understand exactly the Commissioner. We have an applicant here that doesn't have an attorney and doesn't have a plan. We have to make a decision. We're not here to approve or disapprove an application because that's not what we have here today. What we have here is an applicant who is,
But, excuse me if I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but what I heard before was we're here today to either approve the use or not approve the use.
no,
That's right.
no,
That's what I understood.
Yeah.
no, we're not here. We're not here to approve or disapprove a use. We're here to determine if Mr. Lawrence Franklin decision to deny the use of this facility as they intend is legal or is within the frame of the law or it isn't within the frame of the law. So we have to decide whether Mr. Flynn's position is legal or is not. Not to approve or disapprove an application.
That's why with all respect to what you said a few minutes ago, all of that would be relevant if the board decides that your use is not permitted and you come back with a use variance application. Then you would decide whether or not you want to grant them the use variance to allow them to open, right? Of course, if you decide right now this opening was wrong, they can open it, right? But what's before you right now is, do they have to come back for a use variance or not? That's what there is.
May I ask a couple of questions?
Let me say something, Congressman Fernandez. The law provides two positions, 1 and 2. One is local convenience retail services such as stationery, bookstores, rice banks, dry goods, variety stores, home radio and TV repair, hand or automatic laundries, florists, hardware stores, or locksmiths, office equipment and business machines, sales and service, package liquor sales, tailors or dressmakers, dry cleaning and clothes pressing establishment provided that no flammable cleaning aids are used. So, the second is community retail services such as paint and wallpaper stores, furniture stores, sporting and athletic goods, photographic equipment and supplies, and professional business and technical schools and studios for photography, art, music, and dance. So the question here is this: does this applicant falls in the definition of number 1 or number 2? And based on that, we have to make a decision. If it falls on the number 1, it is permitted. If it falls under the definition of number 2, it the use, because there's no application, but to determine if Mr. Flynn's position was arbitrary or not, let me put it like that. That's why I was asking counsel if our decision, although we are in what is in judiciary court, will create a case law. So that's what we have to do here. Commissioner Fernandez.
Actually, I would like to address the county.
Go ahead,
How many
Commissioner.
children you have? 8 kids?
Personally or?
No, which is referring to the school site. Anything that we ask you have to do with the school site. That's the only thing that we deal with here.
We have 30 students.
How many?
30,
30?
yes.
Okay. Have you had any complaints from the neighbors as far as parking?
None, sir. None, sir.
What's next to you? Describe the neighborhood.
We have, across the street, we have the dance school.
So you have another school across the street?
Yes, we have dance school across the street. And we teach traditional karate. It's another. And also a laundromat, a pizzeria, and a barber shop, and a church.
Wow, all this is
Yes.
typical Elizabeth block.
On the same block, yes.
So you have 30 kids there?
On the same block.
What's the capacity, or how many kids can you hold according to the fire department in that facility? How much? And that's a very important number to know.
They haven't given us that.
I'm sorry,
They haven't given us that.
They have not.
No.
They have given us that number.
They don't have the occupancy number because they have not applied for a permit.
You don't have a certificate of occupancy. So you don't know how many kids you have there. You don't know where the fire escape should be.
All right. Yes, actually, we do. The fire department was there 2 weeks ago. They gave us notice of what we needed to correct.
So the fire department was there.
Yes.
Are you licensed by the state or the city or anybody in your,
License in which way?
as a teacher, as
I'm
a trainer?
I'm a fourth degree black belt in Christian, and I'm a fourth degree black belt in Lieutenant Kyo Koshin Karate. KYO KDSHIN. Lieutenant ATENI KIEO.
Good. Are you licensed? Are you required to have a license? Listen to my question, please. Don't answer so fast. Do you have a license? Do you have to belong to an association to be licensed so that you teach the kids and award their belts and stuff like that?
After a third degree, you're considered a teacher.
So you're like a master already?
Yes.
And
I'm considered a Shihan.
you do belong.
you keep talking that way, sir, and it's not
I'm
going to
considered a master. My title is Shihan.
Don't get so technical. We very simple people here. So you do belong to certain associations.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And the fire department was there, and you are following everything they have to tell you.
Yes.
You indicated before that the fire department found some deficiencies.
Yes.
Do you have a list of those deficiencies?
Yes, sir.
Do you have them with you? Thank you. Yeah.
I have a question for our attorney.
If we were to side with the applicant, which I'm not saying that we are, would that be due cause at that point for the applicant to have to go to the city of Elizabeth to apply for a certificate of occupancy so that he would be in conformity to all safety regulations and such?
Yes. The difficulty you have here right now is that you have this use is operating without a certificate of occupancy and without appropriate terms and approvals. You've got notice of the violation right there for the fire department. Okay? But it's not the job of this board to enforce the fire code or enforce the construction code. There's other people who do that.
Of course, I just want to make sure that, let's say, if we do move in the direction of the applicant's side or take his side in the application, would that then prompt him legally to apply for a CO and then, of course, be within all safety regulations that are implemented by our construction department and our fire department?
Yes, all that's in front of you right now is whether it's a permitted use in the zone. If you say it's a permitted use in the zone, they still have some issues to deal with the construction reports.
Perfect.
I have a question. Why didn't you submit a full application for this board? Give me a break, just a break.
In which way?
Yes, a variance application with an attorney and you don't have the financial means to do that. I see. Okay. Commissioners, any other questions? Mr. Gallerano, may I ask a question, please? The dancing school across the street probably they came before this board and applied for a variance to operate that sort, right? Possible, we don't know. Although it is within the vicinity, the zoning is the same as this martial arts school, my project. Okay. Any other questions for this applicant, commissioners? Okay, I guess we have is there anyone from the audience? Are there members of the audience who wish to testify regarding this application? If so, please step forward. Okay. Yes.
Raise your right hand if you solemnly swear the testimony you're giving is the truth, all the truth, nothing but the truth. And the truth directly in the microphone. State your name, spell your name, and your address.
My name is Vincent Rigo, last name R-I-G-O. I live in 222 Palmer Street, New Elizabeth, 207 Palmer.
Mr. Rigo. Okay. I don't know what your position is regarding this application, but your opinion should not or cannot be limited to the benefits or non-benefits of this application, because this is not an application. We all understand that martial arts schools are beneficial to the community. We know that. That's not the issue at hand before this board. The issue at hand is to determine whether or not the position of the zoning officer was correct. So I'm letting you know so that you don't tell us what we already know, which is yes, this application is ready, we know that. That's not what we're going to decide. So, having said that, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I feel that, the zoning officer here had very important because there is a studio, construction studio across the street from the school, which is the next school, provides physical instruction, the building does discipline and things like that, teaching children to be sportsmen, to be sportsmen and respectful. Same thing they were running the next school in terms of discipline and following instruction and such. And as a father of students there, and there's so many as a father of 3 students there, and there's so many I can feel that, this beneficial, I can feel that it wasn't a fair decision on the part of the zoning officer or misinterpretation of such, based on what's the street.
I understand. Thank you, Mr. Baker.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the audience who wishes to speak regarding this application? If so, please come forward. Seeing and hearing none, we close this open session to the public. Now we are in a closed session, commissioners.
I'd like to hear from Mr. Gallarino as to his opinion of the current situation and his interpretation of the law that's been used by Mr. Finn to deny this application.
Mr. Gallarino?
I'm of the opinion that I believe Mr. Finn is incorrect in his decision.
I'm sorry, what?
I believe he is incorrect in his decision to basically classify this as a non-permitted use. I feel it's not a school in the traditional sense of a school. This is more as a professional and personal service. Personal instruction rather than the traditional school. We feel it falls more in the category of neighborhood convenience or local convenience service rather than community retail service, which would include things like technical schools, studios for photography, art, and dance. Those are more, I guess, we feel more traditional type schools, whereas what the applicant is proposing is more of a professional and personal service. So I'm of the opinion that it should be permitted in the C1 zone, that zoning determination is correct.
Okay, commissioners, you've heard the opinion of our plan.
Mr. Gallarino, just going back to what you said, going back to the studios and professional use, wasn't that definition number 2?
Yes, that was number 2.
Okay.
Studios for photography, art, music, and dance.
So if that's the case, then it's not that's not.
I'm not sure if you put it in that category. This zoning information was not very specific. I'm more or less assuming that he put it in that category. There's really 2, maybe 3 categories that we can fit into. One being neighborhood convenience, retail services. The second being local convenience, retail services. Possibly community retail services. I don't think it falls under community retail. I believe it put in that category. That's why it's designed, because that category is not really in the C1 zone. So I'm not 100% sure. He was requested to be here tonight to testify. He declined coming to the meeting. So we don't really know what his exact thinking was here.
We only know what?
We don't know what his thinking was or what his thought process was when he issued the zoning review. I believe he probably was fitting in the community retail service, which is not permitted. Again, he's not being here tonight. We don't really know what he was thinking. We can only assume. I think it falls under either local convenience or neighborhood convenience, both of which would be permitted in the single zone.
Which is number 1.
Right. Well, we talked before on level 1 and 2, we could also
So in essence, point number 1 and 2 is subject to interpretation according to the person who reads it.
That's correct.
Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Gonzalez.
my final comments, basically. What I've heard tonight, the applicant has its merits. It's giving back to the community. He's doing what he wishes to do. A dance studio across the street possibly could have come in front of the board at a past date and also gone through the variance application. I'm just speaking aloud because I'm not sure where your application sits. What I've heard from the applicant, and I've heard from definitions, and I've heard from both city council, both city engineer, to me, I believe the definition number 2. What that entails, assuming the city will decide. That's my feeling. I'd like to add to this comments.
It was for probably dancing studio when they went to obtain an opinion, Commissioner Gonzalez, probably they put them into one.
That's not what the applicant said.
No,
I asked the applicant to define what your use is. I mean, that's what I heard. That's what I'm saying. Based on the facts, I'm just giving you my interpretation of what I heard.
So, any other comments, commissioners?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Fernandez.
taking everything in consideration, this very well fits in the neighborhood. It is not a huge school. We might be complaining from the neighbors. It falls in a gray area. It could fit or not fit, but it fits. There's so many regulations do not specify everything to the last detail. And we have approved in this board, I think what we do in this board is approve things that do not fit in any zone, or that do not conform to the zone. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm more concerned with the proper establishment of the school, if you want to call it that way, and compliance with the fire department. I don't think I'll be able to comply with all this. I'm more concerned with children's safety than with whether or not that this fits in the neighborhood. This fits in the neighborhood. I don't have a problem.
Commissioner, I think every single commissioner in this board agrees with you. The predicament that we're in is not to determine what is good for the community or not. I agree with you. Every commissioner here agrees with you. Is whether or not this application falls under the definition of number 1 and number 2. Commissioner Gonzalez, in his opinion, it falls under number 2. If it falls under number 2, it's not permitted. And we are analyzing and rendering an opinion as to the legality of Mr. Flint's opinion. Our client, Mr. Gamarano, thinks or believes that this application falls under number 1. If it falls under the definition of number 1, then it is approved. To me, it's